It's the NFL on EA Sports, where division rivals will clash in the AFC West. It's the Chiefs and the Bulls on Thursday night.
Southern California has a new modern home for NFL football, and it is this place, wondrous SoFi Stadium here in Inglewood. Tonight, on this fine Thursday night, we've got a good one in store between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. CD, everybody loves to see the deep ball. We know that. We got a couple of quarterbacks here who can really sling it. Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs, Justin Herbert of the Chargers.
I like your point there, partner, because it is back in vogue. And what I mean is taking the shots downfield, because for a long time in this league, it was all about precision passing, the West Coast offense. But now we've got a couple of guys here who'll take some shots downfield, and they have some receivers who can go get it.
Here's the kicker, Harrison Butker, ready to get this one started. And we are underway in Southern California. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. And at quarterback from the University of Oregon, it's Justin Herbert.
And he is just absolutely marvelous to watch throw a football. That's something I could do all day long, watch him throw routes versus air. But he's even more impressive when there are bodies on the field, and he's creating with big throws downfield.
Here's the first carry for Austin Eckler. They juked him, and they're able to get this one across the 35. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it'll be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense, because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Herbert now. And the Chiefs are going to get him. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there. He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage, well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
So an early wake-up call there leads to a quick 2nd and long. Herbert will give this one to Eckler. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down. Well executed there on 2nd down, so do you go back to the air on 3rd?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in a long-distance situation. You might come back again, because I doubt they believe you'll do it a 2nd time.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And he is going to have the Chargers 1st down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3.
That throws throw's not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. And you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. Third down conversion here is big. Running on first down, Eckler. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. Second and 6.
If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Following the pickup of 4, here's second and 6. Back to throw here, Herbert. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. That's complete to Austin Eckler, the running back. And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive. And they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big time pickup for them. And now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone. Because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
Herbert's throw going into the hands of Williams. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
Derek Nottie makes the tackle.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
2nd and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7. A shotgun snap for Herbert. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Cook. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. They'll run here with Eckler. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense, I think, in the future. If you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Out of the gun, Eckler running it. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Going to throw on third down with Herbert. Got a man. It's Allen for the Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen there to make the grab. And the Chargers take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. And that's how they envisioned to get the football to start the game and score.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
Extra point good by Hopkins, and it's now a 7-0 game. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told, and it winds up with a touchdown for Los Angeles. Touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Time to see what Patrick Mahomes can do here with his first possession. The quarterback out of Texas Tech getting set to lead this KC Chiefs offense.
And when you think of Patrick Mahomes, you start to think about all of his attributes, and you realize very quickly you can't just put him into one box. No matter how the game proceeds, no matter what is needed, he tends to have an answer for it and plays accordingly.
Able to power through. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there is no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run. It's Edwards-Helaire shedding through the defense. And able to use the stiff arm to gain leverage initially, but not much room thereafter. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
On 2nd down, a run with Edwards-Helaire. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
The coverage unit out there thinking pass on 3rd and 3. Now here's Mahomes. He'll find his running back, Edwards-Helaire. And he will have a Chiefs first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6. Now a look at Smith. Not sure exactly what happened, but he's still down. More from L.A. in a moment. Two first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And his throw here's incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an out there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Demarcus Robinson, the intended target on that one. And now it's 2nd down. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Mahomes now to throw. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. He'll drop that off to Edwards-Helaire. Not much there, only a yard.
Can you do any more work or make it more dramatic for not much gain than what we just saw there? Did you see how his toes got down? Tip-tap, got him down. But what did he get out of it?
He sold the sizzle. He just had no steak.
I mean, was it 1 yard?
Yeah, plays like that, you at least expect a first down there, just 1 yard. Mahomes firing complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
I have no crystal ball up here. I can't truly see into the future. But if they don't start getting some pressure on him, make him move around a little bit and do something with the receivers, change up their timing, they're just going to get shredded as we've seen so far. Right now, they're off to a blazing start.
Yeah, and you are right. He looks way too comfortable back there in the pocket.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a pillow back there for him, all right? As a defensive guy, they've got to dump him on his backside a few times, shake things up.
Now, they're going to need an in-drive adjustment here on this first series.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Coming up on 2nd and 7. They'll run here with Edwards-Helaire. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line. Here's Mahomes to throw. This is caught by Hill for a Chiefs touchdown. Tyreek Hill there to make the grab. And the Chiefs are an extra point away from tying up this football game. And he just did get those feet in there on the side of the end zone. Well done.
Probably the exact size foot necessary, because I think if he had another half size, that catch doesn't count. And he's able to get it in, and it counts for a touchdown.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that will tie our score here in this opening quarter of play. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. Roberts electing not to try it, and this will come out to the 25. The Charger drive about to get going. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offense's sails because they had it going pretty good last time, too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield. Charger football to start quarter number 2. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Eckler going to get it again on 2nd down. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 56 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. Partner, in our years together, we've never really run into a player that's admitted a doubt or a lack of confidence, right? But right now, I'm just wondering about that interior line because on defense, they're starting to get manhandled at the point of attack. Do they have it in them to figure a way to reverse the tide? Because right now, they're running the ball at will. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. From the shotgun, here's Herbert. And he's taken down, a Chiefs sack. Nick Bolton gets him for a loss of 10 yards from his linebacker spot. Well, remember, they had the nice gain on the previous play, but they just gave a lot of it back right there on that sack. Yeah, they get the sack, get back some real estate. Felt like the type of play that can spark a defense and swing some momentum. Almost felt like a take that type of a play, didn't it, partner? And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Here's Herbert. For Keenan Allen, that's complete. And he's got room. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big play that time on the catch and run. Line of scrimmage moves from one 37-yard line to the other as they come up 1st and 10. A handoff, it's Eckler. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive. 6 yards left on 2nd down. Option play, and they'll give to Eckler. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the 1st half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss. The Chargers on 3rd down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Out of the gun, Herbert. He wants it all for the end zone. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete. That was a difficult catch, and I admire the fact that he actually caught the football. Worked so hard to get his feet down in bounds, tried to do the toe tap. My dad's an accomplished tap dancer. I'm not sure he would have gotten his feet in on that one. Is he really? Yeah, that he is. How about that? What about young Davis? No, it did not. It did not cross. It didn't carry over. No, it stops right there. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions. Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
The drive will begin with a run by Edwards-Helaire. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Good, strong run against the 3-4 set. And that 3-4, you've got to have your guys up front eat up a lot of blocks. The guy playing over the center, the nose, he usually has to take on double teams. But when you're able to successfully move him, you're often able to get some yardage, and that's when linebackers have to clean up and make tackles.
Meanwhile, Mahomes' throw caught by his receiver, Hill. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
First and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 45 yards rushing for him now to this point. They went counter there offensively, and a couple of defenders were on skates for a second.
They certainly were, and you know what offensive linemen love about the counters and the misdirections? Sometimes you don't even have to block the defender. He can run himself out of the play if he doesn't read his keys properly.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. To throw, it's Mahomes. Caught, Kelsey, left side. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
We'll put that one in the win column for the defense. Trying to contain tight ends in the passing game is so difficult nowadays, but they did in a big way there.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mahomes. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 11. Mahomes going to throw. This one complete to Mecole Hardman. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. Now the Chiefs bring on their field goal unit. From the right hash, this from 44 yards out. Butker's kick here is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. Andre Roberts now to return it. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Austin Eckler and the Charger offense reclaim center stage. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with the run so far. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll try the right side with Eckler. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. This will be a loss of 3 and now a much tougher third down looming.
He's got exactly what you're looking for, the ability to not just diagnose a play and quickly, but to make a play as well. Nice job there tackling him for a loss.
The Chargers on third down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Herbert. Got an open man. It's Josh Palmer. And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run out of the gun with Eckler. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
But from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
Eckler going to get it again on 2nd down. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. That's going to bring up a 3rd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
4th down, and on is Ty Long to punt. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met. I know the initial focus was on how far that pass was downfield, but how about the coverage on the play? Able to stay with him, get his hands where the receiver's hands were going to try and catch the ball, tips it up in the air, and knocks it away.
Mahomes will try again on 2nd down. I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's Mahomes. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. The former number 3 pick, Joey Bosa, bringing the lumber that time.
It seemed like he kept going through those progressions, and I thought he might dump that underneath, but he couldn't get rid of the football in time.
And I have to wonder if he was thinking while he was back there, I wish there were a lot less progressions on this play, just someone that I can dump the ball to and get it out of my hands.
On 4th down, Tommy Townsend to punt for Kansas City. Back deep here, Andre Roberts. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. Austin Eckler and the Charger offense reclaim center stage.
And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat, make sure he touches it a few times, but as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up?
1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half.
Meanwhile, Herbert's throw there complete to Allen.
And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Back to throw here, Herbert. On the screen, this is Eckler. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down.
Partner, when you see a screen pass and the defensive tackle ends up making the play, you know that one wasn't sold well at all because he should be upfield by the time you throw the pass. If not, you end up with big trouble, as we just saw right there.
To throw again on 2nd down. Herbert. And brought in by the tight end Cook. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
All right, say it with me now. There's a lot of different words we come up with. Maybe we go back and forth after that play, getting his toes tapped down to make that catch. Crafty?
Yep.
Wiley? Oh, definitely.
All the veteran names.
You name it. Has every move in the book and continued to get better throughout his career so he can make that type of a catch.
The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down. To the air again, Herbert. He'll get this to Eckler, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. And Hopkins' kick is good. And that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. So he missed his first attempt, remember, but this time he gets back on the bike and knocks it home.
Yeah, and sometimes that first one can really impact you moving forward. It can just stay with you too long and affect everything else you do during the game. In this case, though, able to shake it off. He's riding high again.
All level now and 10 apiece as the kick's away. This one fielded at the 5. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. The Chiefs going to go back on offense here late in this first half. And they've got just under 50 seconds, so time enough to try to work their way downfield if they so choose. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Mahomes. He'll swing this one out to Edwards-Helaire.
So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and that'll make it 2nd and 10. They couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat on the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
Final shot before the half from Mahomes. And he'll look underneath here for Edwards-Helaire. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. So we have reached halftime here in a good one. 10-10 is our score. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, a check of the next-gen stats in that first half for Kansas City. And there's not much to speak of in terms of passing efficiency. But in a tie game, they know a few tweaks could make a big difference going forward. Meanwhile, for the Chargers, they had a little more success than their counterparts did in the passing game, as evidenced by the numbers there.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. And the Chiefs ready to go on offense to begin quarter number 3. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic, no need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order.
And oh, he coughed it up. And picked up by the Chargers. Pushes past him. Charles, you have to think a pretty avoidable mistake.
You're exactly right about that, partner, because it all comes down to covering up the football. Look, turnovers are going to happen. They're inevitable. But in a tie game in the third quarter, those turnovers can change the tide of the ball game. And now it's up to their defense to try and bail them out. Got to take care of the rock.
Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. And the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that challenge is a successful one.
And he will have a first down here at about the 40. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field.
More from LA in a moment. Mahomes now on first down. And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. It's a big play there for the Chiefs.
A very nice job right there, working the middle of the field, able to create some separation and then utilize it to not just make the catch, but turn upfield once he got the ball in his hands.
So the big play has him all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. He finds Robinson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find the answers, and they've got to find them quick.
Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. This one hauled in, and again it's Robinson. And the Chiefs are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line.
And these two hooked up on a nice gain to play before, and I always admire play callers that see a play that works and go right back to it, so they went right back to him. The reward, they're set up with 1st and goal.
Now here's Mahomes. And they're going to get it. They bring it down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. Joey Bosa, his 2nd sack of the night.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, it took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Mahomes now to throw. This is caught by Robinson. Able to get 9 out of that pitch and catch, but now 3rd and goal.
When the hitch route is run really well, that jab step off the line of scrimmage by the receiver, which is designed to back up the defender and give him a little bit of space, all you want there, get that space, catch the football, and then make a move and pick up extra yardage, and that's exactly what he got done there.
A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal. Now Mahomes. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Joey Bosa bringing the pressure yet again. That's his 3rd sack here tonight. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
So on 4th down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. Butker's kick here is good. And they will take the lead at 13-10. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. On the return, Andre Roberts from his end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
They'll be going for 6. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him. even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
On the give, this is Eckler. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about where they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
From the 31, Herbert. And complete right side to Cook. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam. Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
And there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. On first down, it's Herbert. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hughes. And the Chiefs are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. How do you break down his game so far? Just the one touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't, not until you balance it with the error side, you know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
A shotgun snap and a give to Edwards-Helaire. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Second down, back to Edwards-Helaire. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a third and about 5.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Flush to his right, and he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
That was a really nice play, to be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. Second down, back to Edwards-Helaire. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. A couple of extra defensive backs in the ball game here on 3rd and 6.
Looking to throw is Mahomes. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete.
And the Chiefs are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
Just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, not able to find any yardage on that one.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Mahomes taps this forward. It's a jet sweep. And he's going to ball his way into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelce from 4 yards out. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
Taken at the goal line. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Chargers offense back onto the field.
And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Well, so much for bluffing the defensive line into thinking that they were going to be able to get to the quarterback. Instead, they sniffed out the screen pass and made a really nice play for lost yardage.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Herbert. Allen's got it complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball to the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
Here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Back now at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood.
It's Charger football, but they trail here as we get going in quarter number 4.
And Herbert able to get this one to Eckler out of the backfield.
And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
this possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Again, Herbert. He'll get this out wide to Eckler. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. The Chargers on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. Herbert now. That'll be complete to Cook. And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. And a 2-score game, obviously. Every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
First downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on 1st down. Herbert throwing again. Across the formation, he's got a man. That's Allen. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45.
Every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
Herbert on 1st down now. Going back to Allen. He's got him again. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Four yards remain for 2nd down. Now Eckler. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. The Chargers on 3rd down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Herbert setting up to throw on 1st down. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Like a freight train there, Derek Nottie with a sack. He found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
A hole to dig out of here, 2nd and 17. Another try after the 1st down sack. Herbert. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
You definitely would like to have hit on that one because now you've got a 3rd and long showing up, and you just know defense is going to be getting after it. They are pinning their ears back, and they are coming.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's going to be caught. It's Palmer. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line.
That's a big gainer on that play, and from experience, I can tell you, that's where defensive backs will come into the huddle and say, guys, how about some pass rush? But you're going to say it nicely because those big guys up front, they don't like being criticized very much. Quarterbacks in this league, you know they'll pick you apart if you give them time like that to find receivers downfield.
So not quite a first and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Herbert.
Quick hitter here. It's complete.
7 yards, the pickup there.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Working with a 2nd and 3.
On the ground, it's Eckler. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Austin Eckler, a 3-yard touchdown run.
And the Chargers have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a one-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long, because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense, because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
Hopkins with the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The KC offense and Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the ball back here.
And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on our side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments, and you know what else? They didn't lose their confidence in their ability to play. Because a lot of times you get beat down in the first half, it gets ugly in the second half. They come out with a new resolve and a renewed determination. Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Mahomes taps this forward. It's a jet sweep. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line.
Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that, maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain defenses, and this clearly was the wrong one to run into. Really nice job getting him down behind the line of scrimmage.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This is 3rd and 11. Working from the gun, Mahomes.
Now a swing pass. It's Edwards-Helaire.
And they're able to get this one across the 35.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
Well, at this stage, that's exactly what you want offensively. Good run on first down, stay in bounds, keep that clock rolling.
And look at that play chart that the play caller has in his hands right now. That's what you got to focus in on, because that's divided up by sections. And right now, he's looking at that 4-minute offense section. What running plays do we have to bleed down the clock and take care of the football? Right now, they're executing really well.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bring up a key third down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now, to stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key third down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. Mahomes taps this forward. It's a jet sweep. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. The Chiefs punter now. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They're looking at a fourth down now as they try to hold on to this lead for dear life. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Herbert and the Chargers down 20-17. A minute 52 to play. They need at minimum 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. Herbert. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. It was Frank Clark that time who got in there to bring him down.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle.
Herbert's throw taken in by Cook.
And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So the penalty yards marched off on the face mask. Here's 1st and 10. Herbert. And that's caught by Williams. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at the 45.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
First down now, but that clock rolling.
Throwing, Herbert.
Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Allen. And down to the 11. A big play there for LA.
It's not a surprise when you read scouting reports and watch tape, because you know he's a heck of a player. But he is so difficult to get down in the open field. They just want to get him the ball and let him do his thing.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Herbert going to throw. He dumps it to Eckler underneath.
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. 2nd and 7. Herbert to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Chris Jones in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. On 3rd down, here's Eckler. And he's across for the touchdown, and it's likely the game winner here in the closing stages.
So for those of little faith, guess what? It got done. They now have the lead with that touchdown this late in the contest. I wonder if that was a play they were holding or a play that they just knew would work from past experience.
I just saw it in their eyes on the sideline before starting that last drive, and they did. You're right. They got it done. Looks like they're going to be the winners. Here's Hopkins now for the extra point. And it would appear they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it ends with what most likely will be the game-winning touchdown. Touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. From the 6. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They have time here, partner, for just one final heave.
And I have to look at from the defense's perspective here. We know what they're going to do on offense. The Hail Mary, try and get guys down there and throw it in the end zone, tip it around and catch it. You've got to have guys back there to defend that, but also you can't allow the quarterback as much time as he wants to set up and throw it. Maybe you bring a little extra pressure to make sure he gets rid of it quicker.
A little bit of a cat and mouse game. We'll see if they bring that pressure. Well, Charles, this one's going to be hard to digest. You take the lead into the 4th quarter, lose that lead. Maybe they felt like they let this one slip away a little bit.
They will definitely feel like that because when you have a lead in the 4th quarter, all you talk about doing is finishing and closing a game out. But when you flip it over, how about that? Making the comeback and then finishing the game, sealing it on defense, they will feel jubilant in their locker room.